welcome back to Main Character with Yes. Say it with me. Yes. Oh, I'm fucking tired. So we're just not gonna have a debrief of the week this week, okay? Long story short is I feel like Alex Earl right now. I need a gua sha. Wait, can we talk about the fact that like if I don't gua sha and if I don't do like my lymphatic drainage bullshit, like I literally feel like I can't leave the house. That'll be a different topic for another day. But we are having another throwback episode. What's a throwback episode? A throwback episode is what we did last week. I feel like it's very simple. If you don't understand, look it up on ChatGPT or some shit. And if you don't know what ChatGPT is, maybe listen to my AI episode. Shameless plug. But we had Millie on the pod last week. And who is Millie? Listen to the pod and you'll find out. She's actually in the other room right now because you guys... I'm not in New York anymore. Mama, I'm not in Kansas. Mama, I'm not in Kansas anymore. Where am I? I'm in London. Where was I this morning? Up north in Manny. Seeing they. And then now seeing my besties. Millie's there with her girlfriend. Eva's there. Everyone's just chilling. Will they possibly be on the pod for a potential episode? Stay tuned. We always love like a nice little accent on the pod, right? We love like little bit of a Love Island. Speaking of Love Island, we'll debrief that. My girlfriend and I were watching the entire thing, and I have so many thoughts. Also, sorry, this is gonna be two random things, but I was actually watching. I'm watching Naked Attraction right now, where the UK, I feel like the UK has the weirdest fucking shows in the entire world. I feel like their money, they're like, we're going to have a housing crisis, but we're going to have a show where we show you labias and penises and be like, do you think this is hot or not? So weird to me. Anyways, so today's episode was filmed and recorded at Podeo. Shout out Podeo, a podcasting platform, which everyone should go download and listen to. Based in Lebanon. It was founded by a Lebanese man, so obviously supporting it till my last breath, supporting the culture. But it was recorded in July when I was in Lebanon. It was the first time I was in Lebanon since the pandemic. So a lot was going on. This was before a lot of current events happened. This was before I feel like the hell that was the fall and now the winter and what it is now. So I feel like take that with a grain of salt and make sure you remember that this was recorded, a while ago. Yeah. So, so please enjoy it. This episode means a lot to me. It's very special. It's about my country. So obviously I'm going to care. Apologies for the podcast dropping a little late. It's been kind of hectic. I'm going to be back on my bullshit. Don't worry. Come next week. I feel like that's another topic. Like, I feel like we go in like ebbs and flows of like peaking and being hot and like on top of my shit. And then sometimes like I can't do it. But anyways, please enjoy the episode. It's a major throwback, but it's a special one. And I feel like you guys are all really going to like it. So I love you. Enjoy the pod. Enjoy the episode. And if you relate to this episode, if you're, living in a country that's not exactly your country, but also is your country, if you feel like home is such a weird place for you, what exactly is home? You're struggling to identify what it means to you. Let me know what you think, because I can promise you that you're not alone in that. So enjoy the episode. I can't believe I'm saying this right now. I am recording this episode of Main Character with Yasmin in Beirut, Lebanon. I'm freaking out that I'm recording it in my home country. And I say home with the air quotes on there because, as people know, I was born in the U.S. I was born in Palo Alto, California, but here I am. Touchdown in Lebanon. The second I got off that freaking plane, I smelled trash. I smelled Marlboro red cigarettes. I smelled gasoline and Dior Sauvage cologne. And the humid air kind of just slapped me in the fucking face. It was incredible. It was an amazing feeling because I knew like, oh, this is it. This is home. Whenever I walked into like the gas station or a small little corner store, I was like, it smells like an Abercrombie and Fitch in here. Yep, it feels good to be home. I'm really excited to be here. I'm really excited because, as you know, my cultural identity, me being a Lebanese woman, is so important to me. It's the most important aspect of my life, and being able to do something I love, making this podcast that means so much to me in my home, it means more than I can even describe, honestly. I know I'm making a lot of jokes right now, like, ugh, Dior Sauvage, Abercrombie and Fitch, cigarettes, but like, I think I'm masking how I'm feeling right now. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm nervous to be here specifically right now. I feel intrigued as to why I'm nervous. I feel curious. I'm not really critical about how I'm feeling because I haven't been back since 2019. The winter going into 2020. And as we know, 2020 was kind of the year of shit, from COVID and then the Beirut explosion that happened that rocked this nation. The financial crisis happening, the trash crisis. There was just so many crises happening all over the world, but also specifically in Lebanon. So coming back here, I feel like I've grown so much. I've finally become the woman that I've always been destined to be. But now I'm coming back to a place that has really been ingrained in who I am, but as a new person. And I kind of feel like the black sheep a little bit of the community. I don't really speak the language. أنا بحكي عربي شوي. أنا بتفهم. If that means I speak a little Arabic and I understand. But I don't understand the language fully. I don't understand what everyone's trying to say to me. I'll just nod and like smile, like yeah. Naam, which means yeah, but I have no idea what the hell's coming out of your mouth. I don't. So there's that language barrier there, even though we're all like so ingrained in our cultural identity. I have no idea what you're trying to say to me. And there are many things that have been happening because I'm curious as to why I'm feeling nervous. The struggle of being an American Lebanese or Lebanese American, because having that Arab diaspora identity is so fascinating to me. And lastly, what my Lebanese identity means to me. And I've also created a couple tips on how to regain your cultural identity. There's some things that you can do, because I feel so often when you live in a different place from where your family's from or where your culture is from, you kind of lose touch of who you are. You lose touch of the backbone of who you are. So let's get into it. I'm really excited. Jesus Christ. I'm going to start from the bottom. I'm going to start from the bottom. What does my Lebanese identity mean to me? I kind of struggled with this because there's so often like, it means hope. It means power. It means following your dreams. It means being the hottest person alive, because we all know that Lebanese women are the most beautiful humans in the entire world. But I think it's more than that. It means I find it disrespectful when you don't eat my food, when I offer you food. It means always being the mother of the group, because it's very matriarchal, maternal in this culture. It means calling random people uncle and aunt and tante and ammu, even though they're not blood related to me. It means being loud. It means being aggressive when I talk. It means taking up a lot of fucking space. That's what being a Lebanese woman means to me. When I was growing up, I was very privileged. My family always took me to Lebanon. Like, I remember my first time coming to Lebanon, I had the little iPod shuffle. Like, the little one that looks like a Skinny Legend, the white one that you can only press play going forward and then, like, reversing going back. That was the iPod that I had at the time. And the only song I could play was, I'm pretty sure, like, 1985 by Bowling for Soup and, like, Umbrella, I think. And so that was my earliest memory of coming here. And I just remembered, like, I finally saw people who looked like me. It was the first time where, like, I didn't beg my mom to straighten my hair. It was the first time I didn't mispronounce my name when I was introducing myself. When I was younger, going to school in America, I would always say, my name is Yasmin. My name is Yasmin. When really it's Yasmin. But I felt so much shame saying what my name was actually, how it was actually pronounced or where it was from. Whenever I said, oh, I'm Lebanese. Oh, you're a lesbian? No, I'm Lebanese. Hayati. People don't know where we are because we're such a small country in the Middle East. Also, fun fact, the Middle East doesn't actually, like, we're not the Middle East. We're not the middle of east of anything. We're actually the West. If you really want to talk about that, we are the West geographically. But when I was younger, I begged my mom to straighten my hair. I wanted blonde hair so bad. I wanted blonde hair so badly. I made sure to wear like 80 SPF because I didn't want to get any tan in the summer. Because, you know, in Arab culture, like when we tan, you know, we get darker. But I wanted to be white so badly. I just remember, like, I after I watched Cheaper by the Dozen, the critically acclaimed hit movie, I wanted my name to be Lorraine, based off the Hilary Duff character. I begged my mom. I remember I was in tears. I was like, please, I'm going to a new school in 6th grade. Just please tell them, like, my name is Lorraine. Where the hell did Lorraine come from? Like, out of all the names, I picked the ugliest name, Lorraine, which sounds like a Karen. But that's how much I was willing to go to not say my actual name. And that's really sad, like, looking back now, and I'm thinking about it, like, damn, you wanted anything else but to be called your actual name. And that hurts me for little Yasmin because she just wanted to fit in. She just wanted to feel seen, to feel loved, to feel heard, but she couldn't feel like that. And it wasn't until college. Fast forward. I know we're going back in the timeline. I need you guys to just bear with me here. Just bear with me. We're going to keep going forward and back and forward and back, but, like, pretend like whether you're in a car right now, you're just on a walk, you're on a jog, you're hanging out, you're cooking, whatever the hell you're doing. You could be in the shower. You could be taking a shit right now when you're listening to this podcast. I don't care what you're doing. But just imagine yourself, you're on a rocking chair. We're going forward in time and back in time and forward and back and forward. It wasn't until college I actually started saying my name correctly. In high school, it was Yasmin. I remember my ex-boyfriend, my first boyfriend ever. Like, this is the guy I lost my virginity to when I was 17. He would call me Yasmin. Yasmin. I'm like, how am I supposed to say, like, I'm actually in a relationship with you when you can't even say my name correctly? Like, that to me is so mind-blowing. It is so mind-blowing that I allow the people in my life who I claim to love, whether that's friends, like family friends who aren't Lebanese or of Arab descent, saying my name incorrectly, and I'm like, yeah, I'll answer to anything that you say because I'm that desperate to feel seen and wanted. But it wasn't until college. I've said that so many times now. I'm actually going to say it. In college, I finally started introducing myself as Yasmin. I studied theater, acting, and as we all know, like, it is stereotypically Arabs go into STEM because that is, like, the highest success rate. When I say success, I mean it's not my definition of success, but making money to earn an income, a substantial income where you can support your family. You go into STEM. Engineer, lawyer, doctor, taking over the family business, running a gas station, having some 7-Elevens. I remember my dad used to work at a convenience store, and he's like, this is how you make money. Like, you save. But I went the opposite direction. I said, I'm sorry, you guys, listen, I'm going to be doing art, whether you like it or not. And it wasn't until the first time I did the vagina monologues when I was 15. And I invited actually a lot of my Arab family and my extended family to come watch me. And I was nervous because I had to do 16 orgasms on stage. And this was before I ever had an orgasm, by the way. Like, I didn't even know what an orgasm was. And all I know is, like, you're supposed to make a noise, a really loud grunt or some sort. But I did some soul searching. And I did it. And I remember seeing my jiddo, who's from Lebanon, and he gave us a standing ovation at the end. The entire cast of women. And I was like, so this is what all Lebanese people are like. They're understanding. They're open arms. They want acceptance and love. I was like, damn, I'm proud to be a Lebanese. Fast forward to today. It's been a culture shock. To come back here. It actually breaks my heart because, like, for example, like 100,000 lira, which is the Lebanese currency, is equivalent to $1 when it used to be a couple years ago like $70 to $80 for every 100,000. The financial crisis is so bad. The trash crisis, the housing crisis, the human rights have regressed more than I've seen. And I know it's happening also, like, in the United States. It's happening everywhere in the world. But like coming back to my country, of which I'm so, so proud of being a part of, it breaks my heart, especially coming to terms with my identity, whether that be like my like sexual identity, my personality, the way I carry myself, the woman who I am today. It feels like there's a lot of silence here. And I want to bring up the explosion specifically, the Beirut blast on August 4th in 2020. And I promise you, I know it sounds like I'm going in all different circles, but this has all to do with what the Lebanese identity means to me, what my Lebanese identity means to me. I was supposed to be here on August 4th. It's my birthday, and the producer here is just like, what? Yeah, it's true. But it was, every year we would always come to our flat, which is right in Marmakhail, which is right in front of the port. And all my family would come, and we would all celebrate there before we'd go out and party. Also, that's one thing the Lebanese people can do. We know how to have a good time. No matter what, the world could be ending. The environment could be like burning to the ground. And we'd be like, yeah, but who wants a fucking shot? And who wants an argile? And who wants to go dancing till 6 a.m. to Peggy Goo? Like, that's the type of people Lebanese people are. Like, I'll get to the Lebanese people in a second. Yasmin, I need to stay focused. But the Beirut explosion, we canceled our flight a couple weeks prior because of COVID. And I hate to say it, but COVID kind of did save my life, because we would have been here. My house was completely destroyed. There was blood everywhere from our neighbors who lived above, across, below us. My little tote bag was found on the street. But that is just like the bare minimum of what the catastrophic impact it had, because I'm just lucky to be alive. I'm lucky to not have been there. Because when you can't be there and you can't help your people, there's like this feeling of shame and guilt. Like, why can't I be here? Like, rebuilding up my country, helping the people that I call family. And they went through a lot. The Lebanese people went through so much because this could have been avoided. And I hate to say, I hate being political. That's a lie. I love being political. And I hate to say that this is a political issue, but it is a political issue. Because in my country that I'm so proud of, you have a government that doesn't give a shit about its people. And I'm going to get backlash for saying that. I know that. But they don't. And people lost their lives. And yes, France, the US, the UK, Spain, Italy, blah, 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 all gave as much money as they could. And I put in quotation marks, as they could, to help with the crisis. Because now everyone's like, thoughts and prayers only get so far. And that was just right now. I don't know if you heard that, but the electricity just went out. Welcome to Lebanon, baby. But that's the thing. So I came back. It's been a couple years. I tried to do what I can from abroad. I raised money. I sent money to the Lebanese Red Cross, Heal Beirut, SEAL, another great NGO, to do what I can. I'm not saying, look what I did. No, what I did was the bare minimum. It was the bare fucking minimum of what someone could do. And I came back here, and I'm not trying to be dramatic when I say it looks like people aged. Everyone has bags under their eyes. There is exhaustion. So I started talking to people. I started having conversations. I started people watching. And this is after the nervousness kind of set in. This is more of like me realizing my Lebanese American identity, being the diaspora, and also coming back to my country and asking questions. I started asking questions and people watching. I remember I was walking down the street in Jamaizi, and I saw this elderly woman, this teta or seto, and she was just making like za'atar with khibis on like this really traditional Lebanese like stovetop. What do you call it? Thank you to the producer. She was making manushi on the saj, which is like a traditional stove. And I just watched her, and I know I look like a fucking creep. Like, I look like a random crazy person, but I was just watching her, and like, there's no music happening. She was sitting in silence, just making food. And you know there was love in there. And I was like, see, if that were me, or if that were in the United States, music would be playing, you'd be listening to something on your headphones, you'd be antisocial, you'd be on your phone somehow, you'd be like trying to get it over and done with, rather than actually taking your time to do something. And rather than actually just sitting in silence, sitting where what you're doing, and like making something like a traditional Lebanese dish that her grandparents probably made and her grandparents made, and like something so rich with history in silence in 2023. And then I was walking down the street and I just saw like an elderly man like rolling like an old cigarette. Like he didn't have like the one that you could just open in a pack. Like he was rolling it. And I do not condone smoking, obviously. Like we know that smoking kills. But like just for the sake of the storyline, I'm going to say this was fucking legendary. He was just taking his time. Once again, no music, no headphones, nothing. He was with his friend too. And they were just sitting in silence together and they were smiling at each other, just rolling the cigarette. He gave the other man the cigarette first and then he gave it to himself. And what I noticed in America is I feel like he would have taken the cigarette first and then gave his friend the second one. And I feel like that just goes to show the Lebanese people, they're always willing to give you the shirt off their back. They'll give you everything first and then they'll have it second. Another thing. I went to my friend Kelly Haddad's art show here, Finding the Common Chaos. It was in Marmakhail and it was beautiful. You guys should definitely check out her art. She's incredible. She's based in New York and Beirut. But a lot of her art, I was just like, this is beautiful. It just shows the Lebanese resilience, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, I actually hate that word, resilience, because that means for the Lebanese people that you have to. And I was like, what do you, huh? I think resilience is a great word, like rising from the ashes. That's what Lebanon's known for. The phoenix rising from the ashes. And she's like, yeah, but because we have no other choice but to. It's exhausting. Constantly having to, and obviously like she didn't say it exactly how I'm saying it now, but like looking back at it, I'm like, damn, like these people, my community, Lebanese people have to continuously go and fight their own government, fight family members, fight the other people throughout the world. And I was like, you have to constantly be fighting for your life. It's survival mode. So yeah, when people here have bags for days, crazy. The driving in Lebanon is insane. I will say that. It is unhinged. But then when I'm in America, I'm not American enough. I'm not the girl next door. I'm once again, I'm not trying to say, oh, feel bad for me. Like, no, I'm just trying to air my grievances on here. And whether you are Lebanese, you are Arab, you are from any other country that is not the US, and you have that cultural identity, I think you can resemble this. I do. No matter where you're from, no matter what, you constantly have this internal cultural struggle of identity of who am I? Who the hell am I? I'm not Lebanese enough in Lebanon. I'm not American enough in America. Then what the hell am I? So I was like, well, I need to do something about this. I did what anyone else would do. And I started crying. And I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do next. I don't know what I'm supposed to do next. So when I get fed up or tired or feeling like that constant struggle, I get up and leave. Everyone that's like fight, flight, or freeze, I'm usually freeze or flight. Like, I'm not going to fight you. Even though I'm a Leo and I have a loud fucking mouth, I'm not going to fight. So I'll either run the opposite direction or I'll just stand there like a deer in headlights. But in this moment, I fled. I brought my AirPods and I just started walking around the streets of Lebanon. I made sure I put my phone on airplane mode. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want to be with anyone. I just wanted to walk down the streets of where my family walks. And that's when I would people watch, like I said before. That's when I started going into small little corner stores and trying to speak whatever bullshit Arabic I could. Like, ana badik mai, like, do you have any water? Like, can I buy some water? And even though they didn't understand what the hell I was saying, or they're like, yeah, you're an American. Yeah, you can get some water here. Like, they were trying to make it easier for me. And I just tried to, and like, I was walking around the cobble street stones. I did so much. So then I went and I had a coffee on my own. I had an old Turkish coffee, black coffee. It's so bitter. It is so bitter. And I was like, okay, well, I need to do this again. But this time I want to go to my villages in the mountains. So I went home, told my parents, if there's one thing I want for my birthday, which was August 4th, and I was here during that day. It was a dark day, by the way. It was hard. It's hard to, it's not about me. It's dark. I feel like no matter what I do, I'm making it about me, and I don't want to make it about me. Like and there's that constant struggle again. I wanted to go to the villages where my family's from. My mom is from a different village in the Shuf Mountains, which is like the Jebel. Like these are villages, people. Like these are people who like, they don't go down to the city. Like they are like growing their own fruit and everything in the backyard. Like this is where like you'll be lucky if you could shower a couple times a week because the water, you have to savor water. And my dad's from the opposite village, and I went to my mom's village first in Ankani. I saw all my aunts with their mandil. And if you don't know what a mandil is, it's not a hijab of sorts, but it's like a hijab where you put it across your face and you don't show your hair, except it's strictly white and you have to wear black clothing. It's very traditional. And I'm not going to lie to you, when I'm in America and I see someone with a hijab or a mandil, I'm like, you are definitely you're being oppressed. You're not choosing this for yourself. This is what the man's making you do. I did think that. I'm not going to lie to you. But then I come and I see my aunts who are doing it, and they find it empowering wearing their mandil. They find it incredible that they want to do this, that they feel closer to their connection spiritually. Do I relate to that? No, I don't. But it's fucking incredible to feel like this is what my ancestors did. I'm not personally choosing to do so, but I have that choice just like they do. And I sat with them and I talked with them. And I'm smiling right now because it was like the first time where I just felt so connected to someone. And there was that language barrier once again. And I was in my old home, the villages. I went through different archives of letters my grandmother wrote to my grandfather. Like, that's the thing. Like, if I wanted to talk to my partner, like, I could just message her and just be like, hey, babe, like, what's going on? Text her. Nothing. My grandparents used to have to write letters because there was no phone in 1964. I read this letter and she said, my grandmother said to my grandfather, every day with you is like oxygen being sucked out of me. And she was in Massachusetts. Her family's from Lebanon, but she was first gen. And my grandfather was in Lebanon at the time. And I was like, damn, why don't we talk to each other like that anymore? Like I'm expecting to be said like, a day without you is like a year without rain. Like, bring that Selena Gomez song fucking back. Like, I want that. It just makes me feel proud to be a Lebanese person. That history. We went into my dad's side of the family's home. And it is so rich with history. Like, the cobblestones are specifically set where if it rained, like the creek water would come down. There's cobblestones where the horses would have walked in order to come in through the main entrance. It is that we have a room that's preserved with all old antiques, like whether that's the guitars, guns that obviously don't work, but like knives, swords, coffee makers, steamers, everything that's like old from our family, all preserved in this one room. Rugs, chairs, carpets, rugs and carpets, same thing. But then there's this other room that has like all paintings of my great grandfathers. And it was just so incredible to see all these different men that I'm a descendant from. They look so angry though, I will say, but I feel like that's like the olden time photos where like you have to be like this, like your brows like downwards, but like no, like it made me feel so proud. And I saw on the family tree my name was there, but I also noticed a lot of the women's names on there, they didn't have their kids on there. So then I asked, why? And Lebanon is a very patriarchal place. Thus is the world. But Lebanon specifically. You can't be a woman to run for president here. And I'm not trying to go on some feminist rant, but innately, this is the truth. That is like, this is the truth. And so I asked, one day when I have kids, I expect them to be on this tree because they carry the bloodline. I sound like so Twilight. I sound insane saying that, like,
they carry the bloodline.
But they carry the same blood as our ancestors did in this room because they're coming from me. So I expect their names to be on there. And I thought I was going to be met with absolutely not, blah, blah, blah. Like, genuine, I had a bias. I did have a bias, which you can't help me for thinking. Like, you can't help someone think that when, like, obviously the media and society in the West, in the United States, makes it to be like the Middle East, the Arab countries, they are so man, and they're so violent and aggressive. I was ready for that. But actually, the man said to me, absolutely. Your kids will be there. And that felt good. That felt really good. Because it just reminded me how important it is, how my culture is to me. It really does. And I know I've just been talking about my time in Lebanon, but it's important to say that this means a lot to me. And I would be damned if I didn't have an episode on if this is my podcast, so I'm going to be talking about whatever the hell I want to talk about. And I feel like the Lebanese representation or Arab representation, MENA, which is Middle East, North Africa, like we don't have representation in the United States as much as we can. Or as much as we should. Like, we're known as like the terrorists in different like TV shows or movies, or like we're like the maids or the whores or like the crazy gas station owner. Like, we are known as that. And like, we are so much more than that. Like, we're hot. Do something about that instead of making us the bad guy. It's so funny because I'm like watching all these like original series off these major platforms, and they're like, there's like the CIA agent. He's like, I need to go fight the bad guys, and the bad guys in the Middle East, and they think it's all sand and camels and like a bunch of gold. Like, this is not the set of Aladdin, honey. Like, I swear to God, there's so many trees here. There's a waterfall. There are multiple waterfalls. Like the U.S. and different Western countries, like they don't depict how these countries actually are. They're filled with beauty. They're filled with land. They're filled with green. I know that totally contradicts everything I said about the trash problem earlier, but like, I promise you go to the mountains, you go to the beach, and you see the beautiful nature of what this country always has had. I leave tomorrow back to the UK before I finally touch down in the US, back home. And I put once again in quotation marks because I've really been struggling with my definition of home. A home could be a person, a home could be a place, a home could be a thing. I feel like my definition of home is wherever I feel like my heart is the fullest. Home could be a moment. And ever since I've been here, I feel like this has been my home. But also, that's a privileged thing for me to say. Because I can just get up and leave whenever I want. I can just pack up my bags and go. The people here have to stay. You can't just get up and go. So I'm struggling and grappling with the fact of like, a home can be a moment. You can obviously make that home, like, be very, like, intellectual about it and be like, what does this mean? But, like, I think I'm still figuring that out. But what I do know is I've learned a lot in the last couple of weeks since I've been here. I feel like that I'm authentically myself because I know that this is where my ancestors came hundreds of years ago. I learned so much about my family name. I've made friends. I've made memories here. Like, this country is my home. I feel like that fire under my ass again. Because now, like, when I get back to the US, I'm going to be more proud of my culture and bringing the representation and bringing our stories. When I say our stories, the collective stories of different people. I want to interview people. I want to get to know more people. I had a talk with the people at Podeo before I started recording, and there was these incredible women there who were just telling me, like Lebanon just banned the fucking Barbie movie. What? And nonetheless, they are still staying because they know that there's going to be a better hope for a better Lebanon for tomorrow, for their future kids. I want that for mine. Khalil Gibran said, he said in the Prophet, I'm going to just summarize it, but basically, like, your kids are not yours. Your kids that you gave birth to, they're not yours. They are the world's. And I think that's so beautiful because I feel like that makes me feel like I need to strive. I have to strive to make a better
world, whether it's a better Lebanon, a better community, a better America, a better wherever the hell I am for my kids, for my friends' kids one day, for the future. Saving the environment, making the world more just, bringing human rights, bringing equality and kindness and love and empathy. It's not for us, it's for the future. So I made a list. I was in bed last night and I was like, what are you gonna get out of this episode? Yeah, you might relate. Yes, you might be like, empathy, but like, what are you gonna get? So I made a list of things that could help you get more in touch with your cultural identity, because I know these things helped me. These things really helped me kind of remind myself who I am. Where did my family come from? Dealing with the history, whether it's good or bad, because it's not always good. Number 1, step 1, simple. Eat your heritage's food. Like I'm going to be honest with you. Am I going to eat kibbeneye, which is raw meat? Absolutely the fuck not. But am I going to learn more about my culture's food? Absolutely. Also, like, go to if your grandparents are still alive, or your aunts, your uncles, or any restaurant that serves your community's food, go to it and ask for the usual. Like, ask for something that you know is traditional and eat that food, because hundreds of years ago your family were also eating that food. Number 2, listen to the music. Whether it be old or new, I will listen to Beirut until my last breath. I will listen to everyone. Like, it's important to know the music of which your culture is from, because there's specific types of things and like musical instruments that you don't see or you don't hear in other places. And I think that helps you get in touch with like what your grandparents listened to, what your parents listened to, where you came from. Number 3, go on your culture's algorithm. I'm on Arab, I don't want to say Twitter because I don't like Elon Musk, but I am on my country's TikTok algorithm. And Arab TikTok is fucking insane. These people are unhinged. Like, you just see all these men like having these crazy haircuts and these crazy edits of like them being blurry, and all of a sudden like you just see them full swing of like, because everything clears up, and they're on like a motorcycle, and I'm like, you guys, sit down, go home. Although I'm grateful that I saw it. Enough. These veneers are too much. I'm sorry. So get on your country's algorithm. Also, you get to know more of the news of what's happening in your country, or your community's algorithm. You get to know what's happening from the day to day, so you don't feel so out of place and so out of touch. Number 4, get curious. If you have members of your family or friends that you might have that come from the same background, ask them questions. Find the middle ground of relatability. I did that with my grandfather. The way he came to America as an immigrant man who served in the military in Lebanon, coming to a 1-bedroom apartment with 6 other people. What was that like? Where can we find middle ground? And also, not even fucking middle ground, just listening, hearing the stories of the struggle. Number 5, find different creators or artists that come from your community. I'm sorry, they don't talk about it enough, but Salma Hayek, you're Lebanese. You're Lebanese. Shakira, you love belly dancing. Talk about how you're from Lebanon. She's Lebanese, by the way. See, the hottest women are from Lebanon. Amal Clooney, George Clooney's wife. Or should I say, the wife of George Clooney? I'm trying to make it very empowering, but I couldn't do it. So here we are. Amal Clooney. She's fucking incredible. She's Lebanese. Like, find these people. Mia Khalifa. She's banned in our country, by the way. She's banned in Lebanon, which disgusts me. I think she's out of this world. She's done more for this country than the own government has done. She's donated so much money when the Beirut blast happened. Find these creators and different people. Gino Aridi, who's a human rights activist in Lebanon, like Nadine Lebeki, she's a Lebanese filmmaker. She's doing so much for this country in bringing art and love. Zuhair Murad, a beautiful fashion designer. Eli Saab, these people are Lebanese. And like, find your niche of find your group of creators and in influential beings and in activists and incredible people that come from your community. You feel that sense of we're one. And number 6, ask yourself why. I think it's crucial to be curious as to why you want to connect with your culture. For so long, I never really had an answer to this. But as I grew and I learned, I came to realize it's because I just want to feel a part of something where I can see myself be represented, to feel seen. Isn't that what we all want? Thank you for listening. I'll be back next week, you guys. I'm so grateful I'm in my little Euro girl journey. Not really Euro because it's the Middle East once again, but not actually the middle of the East of anything. But I'm happy to be back in Lebanon. I'm grateful. And to the Lebanese people who have been with me through this time and who have really taken me in, I love you so much, and I will continue to uplift and support and love you from the United States, from the UK, from wherever the fuck I am. Sending love. And remember, we're all the main character of our own journey line. See you next week.
Make sure to like, subscribe, download all future Main Character with Yasmin episodes, and major thank you to our incredible editor and producer, Max Shepardson. I'll see you next week. Bye.